Welcome to Lake TV's Community Spotlight Show. We're coming to you this week from the great Slumberland Furniture, the studios that they have for us here. And we are talking with Clint Hague, who is the Director of Transportation, the new Director of Transportation, and the outgoing Activities Director at Osage High School. Your Community Spotlight Show is brought to you by Hy-Vee. So Clint, thank you so much for taking the time to join us. We were just talking for a couple of seconds, and you're a busy dude, man. I mean, you got a lot of things going on.
Yep, I have early mornings right now. I've been riding buses, just trying to get to know all the different routes and so forth, and still have the games in the evenings. And you know, this time of year with rain, we got a baseball tournament this weekend, and they're already talking about moving games around and playing on Friday instead of Thursday and so forth. So yeah, I keep busy.
You got to keep up with all that stuff as the activities director. So you're moving to be the director of transportation, Osage High School, and I'm guessing it's people don't usually think about how all the buses are coordinated and how all that thing goes. I'm guessing that's what you're in charge of as the director of transportation.
Absolutely. You know, your main objective is to get the kids to school, get them home, but you also remember, not so much during COVID, but it'll be picking back up, kids taking field trips, and then all the athletic events that we have to get to and from. And one of the exciting things with the transportation, starting either this summer or the beginning next year, we got a new program called Transportin', and it'll be on all the buses. And this will actually allow principals, myself, to be able to sit, watch cameras live on the bus. It's GPS. You always know where the bus is at. Kids will have a fob that they scan on and off the bus. So you always know what kids are on which bus and so forth for a safety concern. And as far as parents go, they will be able to get on the app, and whenever the bus gets within 2 stops, they can track the bus.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
So it's also going to bring Wi-Fi to all of our buses, in which we are a one-to-one school. So this allows kids to be able to work on their schoolwork, or TikTok, or whatever else they want to do.
Whatever they got going there. So it's high technology coming into school transportation.
Yep.
Basically, that's pretty cool. So you've got the buses, the bus routes. You have to schedule, as you mentioned, field trips and stuff like that. I'm guessing you have to schedule the sports teams traveling and stuff like that. That's a whole lot of scheduling to try to keep track of.
Yeah, and you know, I tell you what, they do a great job. Tony Hatfield is in that position now, transportation director, and whether he has to drive or they have to take a team a little bit early, they always make sure we get kids where they need to go. But I tell you what, if you're retired, you're looking for a job, and you live down here at the lake, full benefits we can pay for driving a bus.
Wow.
You'll start out as a substitute. It won't be full benefits, but right now our substitutes, they're only sitting in there maybe a couple, 3 months, and then they can get a full-time position and full benefits package.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah,
that's something you don't think about.
Call the school if you're looking for
there you go
for a little extra work.
Call Osage High School. So we had Dr. Laura Nelson, the superintendent for School of the Osage and Osage High School, on a few weeks ago. And she's big into this transportation stuff, man. I mean, she has written like a national article on riding a bus. So no pressure, right? I mean, you got to get this right.
No, she, whenever we visited in her office one day, she said, "You know how I'm passionate about the athletics? Well, I'm even more passionate about this." And she handed me the magazine that she wrote the article for. And she also, I already knew she had wrote all the bus routes more than once this year.
Yeah.
And you know, I've been in, this is my 4th school district. I haven't seen the superintendent ride in bus routes, so that tells you a lot about her passion and wanting to do the right thing for kids, right up to, you know, that bus driver is the first person they see in the morning and the last person they see in the evening, and that sets the tone for the whole day for these kids a lot of times.
That's amazing. Yeah. Again, one of the things that a lot of people don't think about that are pretty important, not just for safety and getting kids around and stuff, because that smile you see first thing in the morning, might make the difference in a kid's life,
Yep.
really, in a lot of ways. So, okay, I mean, and you've been in education for quite a while, and you've kind of done a little bit of everything, because you were a school principal too, I think in Hallsville, right?
Yeah, I was a middle school principal there for 8 years.
Yeah.
And really enjoy. I've been lucky to be at, like I said, it's my 4th district. I started out in Rennick. I taught PE and health for 2 years. That's a K-8 school just south of Moberly. Then I wanted to coach football, so I went to Moberly, was there 3 years. My wife was at Mexico, and their rival conference school.
Yeah.
So we were able to both get a position at Hallsville, and it was great. I've taught PE, health, in an emergency situation. I had to teach 6-7 months of social studies that I
Really?
wasn't certified to teach. I'm certified, taught high school, middle school science. And so by the time I became principal, I had a pretty good background. And luckily, I didn't go right into education. I had worked in a factory for a few years. I had actually sold furniture for a while.
Really?
Yeah, I won't say the name of the place. It's not Slumberland, but and so I had a lot of real world experience that I bring to the table when I'm working as a principal or athletic director or transportation director. That helps you have a better understanding of what people deal with on a day to day. You know, not everybody works a day shift.
Yeah.
Some people work a night shift or second shift, and it's hard to get to a parent teacher conference or whatever. But I really enjoyed being a principal. And we decided to make the move as a family to Osage, not so much for my wife and myself. She's a teacher too. She teaches at the ECC, which is Early Childhood Center, and it was about the school district. Mm-hmm. It's an amazing school district. There's so many opportunities, so many resources for kids, and it was time for change for me to take on a little different hat and see. But it's been a nice ride. This is finishing up my 19th year. So
Wow, that time flies, doesn't it?
Yeah, it certainly does.
So we're talking with Clint Hague. He is the current activities director at Osage High School, moving into the director of transportation. We'll get to know more with Clint coming up next here on the Community Spotlight Show.
The Quick Car Summer Special. Unlimited washes for a month for the cost of a single wash. Ask about it today or visit quickcarmo.com. Quick Car. Quick, easy, and professional every time in Jefferson City and Osage Beach.
Your time on the water is limited, and Hy-Vee and Osage Beach knows it. Let us do the shopping so you can maximize your lake time. With our Aisles online app, you can have your groceries delivered or ready for contactless pickup when you arrive to the lake. With all your grilling favorites, snacks, fresh produce, and home to the lake's largest wine, spirits, and beer department, your weekend at the lake starts with Hy-Vee and Osage Beach, where you'll find a helpful smile in every aisle.
Discovered over a century and a half ago, Bridal Cave continues to amaze those who venture through it. As you tour through Bridal Cave, you'll see massive onyx formations, giant columns, and the one and only Mystery Lake. Bridal Cave's unique stalactite-adorned bridal chapel has provided a truly unique backdrop for over 3,000 couples from around the world. Bridal Cave is open daily, rain or shine. Guided tours leave every few minutes. Come explore the lake's favorite natural attraction. Explore Bridal Cave today.
The Quick Car Summer Special. Unlimited washes for a month for the cost of a single wash. Ask about it today or visit quickcarmo.com. Quick Car. Quick, easy, and professional every time in Jefferson City and Osage Beach.
Welcome back to Lake TV's Community Spotlight Show presented by Hy-Vee, and we're getting to know Clint Hague a lot better today. He is the activities director at the whole school of the Osage. That's high school, middle school, everything. That's a lot of work there. It's soon to be the transportation director. So you've been the activities director at Osage High at School of the Osage for 4 years. And that means you're kind of tracking all the sports, but there's so much more than just the sports, right? I mean, you got a lot of other activities.
Yeah, we have a great fine arts department. Our band, you know, the numbers were down a little bit this year, but we usually see around 150 kids in the band, and the music program, vocal music, is unbelievable. My daughter's part of that. She's at middle school. Amy Yoder does an unbelievable job. And it's just our kids, whether it's sports or music or any of the other fine arts, theater, they are so busy. And that's what the coaches, the teachers, the directors do such a good job of, is they have to share so many kids. And that takes a lot of coordination. And it's, right now we're already having conversations with Jeff Kyle, the band director, of when are they going to schedule their marching performances weekends so that they're not interfering with the soccer tournament, and so we don't put kids and coaches in situations where they have to make tough decisions.
Right.
But we have a lot of kids that are involved in at least 2 or more activities.
And that's what you want, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, because they learn so much. There's some things you learn in sports or in band or debate or whatever it is that you're not going to learn in the classroom. So that's pretty amazing. So we've been dealing with the whole COVID thing, and you as activities director had to kind of work around that. How tough was that?
In the beginning it was tough just because there were a lot of questions and you didn't know how it was going to work out. But, I'm so fortunate that we're in the place we're at, and we handled things the way that we did. We took the precautions like we needed to. And honestly, whenever it started out, the first time that we had a positive case and we started a quarantine and all that, we went a little overboard, which is fine. It's a learning curve. After that, we regrouped. We started quarantining the ones that need to be quarantined. And at no point did we have a kid or a part of a sports team or a classroom that didn't get quarantined that should have been quarantined.
Right.
So we were getting the right ones. And once we figured that out, we were able to really go full steam ahead. There's a couple events along the way that we had to cancel, but we got to have all of our seasons.
Yep.
Kids had opportunities, to go be successful. And unfortunately, it wasn't like that everywhere. And so I was so thankful to be here.
I think we live in the last sane place in the country, really, which is, thank God for that.
Yeah.
And then it's been a very productive year the last year, because you made a couple of coaching changes, which look to be hugely beneficial for Osage High School. You got a Hall of Fame basketball coach that's in there. You got a new football coach that has a great winning track record. Not to say that the people that they're replacing were bad people, because they're great people.
Absolutely.
But these are some great coaches you brought in.
No, we're very excited. Coach Engelbrick, he'll have his first full season, it seems like, because it was kind of a late hire, and he's got his hands on these kids, working with them, and excited to see the future.
Yeah.
And Coach Jolly will be coming in, taking Coach Johnson's spot. Coach Johnson's moving on to his next step, getting into administration, which you can't blame him there.
Yeah.
And there's lots of great things to come. It's gonna be nice to go sit in the stands and watch a football game too, and not be in charge of the popcorn machine and the fire alarm going off and everything else that happens.
Yeah, all those other things. I mean, and it's funny because I've watched you at Osage games, and I mean, you're all business, right? I mean, you're up there in the stands and you're serious looking. It's like, do I really want to go talk to that guy? Because he looks pretty scary. But I mean, you've got a lot going on that you're in charge of when activities are happening. That's part of being the activities director, I guess. So we're just down to our final few seconds, but real quickly, after COVID, will things get back to normal, do you think, or are they changed forever?
I think that there are certain things that procedures that we start to use that we'll stick with, but I think for the most part we're going to get back to normal. One of the things I have to mention that has been a huge success, and I can actually take credit for it. Usually there's a lot of things that happen that I can't take credit for.
Yeah.
But I put together what they call a fan plan, and each week I just list, and it had the expectations as far as how many people could attend, if you had to wear a mask, so forth. But especially in the spring when everything's changed, it's just a great idea to have this fan plan so everybody knows exactly what's going on.
One of the many things that makes School of the Osage so great. So that is Clint Hague, new Director of Transportation, old Activities Director at Osage High. Clint, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
You bet. And thank you for watching the Lake TV Community Spotlight Show.